And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the KSL, the Korean Starcraft League, week number 31. Oh god, I'm of course your host Live. It's fine. I'm of course your host Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat, and we have joined a little bit late. The event did begin almost an hour ago, so we missed out on round number 1. Unfortunately, we did miss out on round 1, but we are here for round number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Hardlead, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing the Starving Camels SSLT. It is Cyan. And spawning in the top left, we have his opponent. We have one of the best, if not the best, Zerg player in South Korea, representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is Dark. Here we go, and again, the event did start an hour ago, and I may have made the silly decision of not having an alarm. Yeah, I think I passed out last night at like 5 or 6 a.m. I think 6 a.m. in the morning, and after the cast, and I needed an alarm. I did not set one, so yeah, missed out on round 1. But again, we're here in round number 2 in the quarterfinals. After this is going to be the semis. After this is going to be the grand finals as well. And this is the beginning of quite a long day of StarCraft. We have, of course, starting things off with the KSL in a couple of hours. We're going to be going live with the Cyan Craft Cup. We can get into that a little bit later on. And then, of course, after the Cyan Craft Cup, we have WTL. We have World Team League as well. So 3 events tonight, back to back to back. Ooh. And hopefully I find some time to have some breakfast. Hopefully I have some time to get some food and to get things going later on. But for now, the openers are looking very standard. We are just going for a hatch gas pullback at home. Cyan going for a Stargate opener as well. Cyan was able to pop off last night. If you recall, Cyan did end up taking a game off of Scarlet in their WTL match in Shopify versus the Starving Camels. And Cyan was able to do something very interesting. And I wonder if we're going to see a replication of that. So we saw a Stargate opener into a third base, where we pulled out a gas. We went +1 charge all in with 8 gates. It was very unexpected, and again, it did catch our Zerg player off guard last night. We'll see if we do something similar this time, as the Lings do dip in, and Dark is going for a full scout of the bases. Again, if you missed out on WTL last night, I recommend checking out the VODs. We had some amazing games, a lot of fun times were had. And we got a little bit rowdy towards the end, but it's okay. As again, for now, we're just going to be saturating our bases, going to be spreading all of our creep. We got 2 queens here at the natural. We got 1 queen, soon to be a couple more here in the main base. Oracle is on the way. And everything is looking as it should. Everything is looking normal. For now. So yeah, the queens are in position. The Oracle is going to be able to rock up. Is looking for some drone damage and may get one. Does get 1 worker in the end, but does get forced back. Again, Dark more than ready, more than in position for this. And so far is able to maintain his economy. We have a Spore in the main base. We're a little bit bare bones elsewhere, but again, Spore in the main does help out, does alleviate some of the pressure for these queens. And across the map, we have our standard transition. We have a third base on the way. We have a Twilight Council and a Forge. We are staying in gas. Bear that in mind. We'll see how many more gases we take. We'll see what the saturation is going to be looking like. But this is looking like +1. Alongside Blink, potentially Charge. And if we do get to go towards Charge, it should be Charge or Archon, as we are saturating the bases here. Sorry, the gases at the natural. We are starting to pull out though. I am curious how we're going to piece this together. Back across the map, we have a safety Roach Warren at around the 5-minute mark. We have the Lair on the way as well. And there is Charge. We are pulling out of gas as well. We haven't taken all 4. Okay. So because we've pulled out of gas here, it looks like we aren't going into Archons. It looks like we aren't going into a Temple Archives. This is a fake out into an all-in. Gateways are on the way.
Yeah, there's the gateway explosion. 4 additional gateways, 5 additional gateways. Give us the 8th gate. I'm a little bit fortunate that I happened to have brought this up as we dove into this, but yeah, this is what Cyan did to Scarlet last night, where he faked out a standard transition when really it was a charge all in. So we have 4 gates on the way. We have 2 gates done here in the main. We have 2 gates in the natural. It's going to be an 8-gate 3-base all in, and we'll see if he can catch Dark unawares. Something that's interesting about this build though is that we have not gone for a robo. There's no warp prism. No warp prism to reinforce. We're just gonna be warping everything back at home, wave after wave of charge shots before eventually sending everything across the map as well. Back at home, ooh, we are going to Hydras. We do have a safety roach warren, and we did make a couple of roaches, thankfully. So once Dark realizes what's going on, he can reactively make roaches. But at the moment he isn't, because he's working towards Ling Hydra, which could struggle against this army composition. And here we go, the Zealots are rushing across the map. +1 is done, +2 is on the way. We have still not taken additional gas guys, we're just sending everything across the map. Do we have a proxy pylon? Looks like we might be setting one up, but for the most part, like, the reinforcement point is really far away. Here we go, we move out across the map. There's a wave of the Lings here, ready for this. The Queens as well, clutch transfuses, the Zealots are breaking through. They break through the Lings, they're getting on top of the Queens as well. And Dark, likewise, has been caught off guard here. The roaches are falling. He is making roaches reactively. But the boys, the mineral line is under threat. The Hydras, they come out, but they come out to be surrounded. As else, they go to town on this army. And again, Dark, he was caught completely off guard. He did not have anything here to scout, to read this coming ahead of time. And can he hold on? He does have a couple more roaches and Hydras on the way. He's barely holding on here at the natural base. He just lost 19 drones. Well, he's surviving. He's holding. He barely is holding. And a big reason for this is the safety roach warren. This is something that we were lacking previously, but it is something that Dark does have here. Oh god, the kiting is still very clutch. A lot of expensive losses here for Dark. The Hydra goes down, the roach as well. Now, we don't have any reinforcements. Because we don't have a war prism, it's taking a long time for Cyan to actually get across the map. And here comes the next wave. We force a recall back home. One Stalker goes down. Dark holds. Dark does hold. Behind this Cyan, he's going for double robo into Blink, into +2, into a 4th base. But Cyan is in a pretty good position. He's ahead economically. Dark from here, though, when behind, that's when Dark is looking his strongest. And he's got a couple of options here. One, he's redroning, he's resaturating his bases, which, fair. Fair, cool. But from here, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws down a Lurker Den. Lair Tech Lurkers could be a way here to stabilize and to slow the game down. If we try to macro into a longer game, Dark will be in trouble because Cyan is getting a little bit ahead here. Like, he's ahead in the economy, and he's going to be getting ahead in tech as well. The only thing that he's lacking, a Bay into Colossus, into Disruptors. Like, splash damage is his big weak point at the moment. Robo production is his weak point. He's getting into it, don't get me wrong, but he needs time. He does need time. There it is, the Bay is on the way. We're making 2 Immortals at a time. And Cyan is getting ready back at home. Meanwhile, likewise, Dark is amassing an army. How much do we have? We have 20 roaches, a couple of Hydras as well, split between the bases. Dark, he drones up to 62, and it looks like he's going to be stopping saturation here at 3-base saturation, making nothing but roach Hydra, which again, I do think is the right call. I do think that he has to amass an army. We cannot get into a longer game here. We cannot macro from this point. We have to try to cripple the economy first from Cyan. This is going to be either a kill move or a move to cripple here from Dark. Regardless, he needs to get damage done. I appreciate this. He takes control of the Zamaga. He may force a reaction here from the main army. There we go. Main army does get pulled over here in this direction to deal with that Zamaga. Meanwhile, Dark getting ready to reinforce on the left-hand side with Roach Hydra. So he's trying to pull Cyan out of position. Disruptors are on the way. If we, I'm not too sure if I like this. We're skipping Colossus and we're going Disruptor first. It's a risky maneuver here from Cyan. Very risky. go. Dark, he's working through those rocks in the center of the map. Likewise here on the left-hand side as well. The disruptors, they are arriving. And this is going to be a very close defense. I do think that Cyan has the tools he needs to defend. He has shield battery, he has overcharge, he has disruptors. But he's being pulled apart a little bit as we do have Dark going in. Up! Big Nova does go off, but Dark does slip into the natural base at the same time. He's pushing towards the fourth base at the same time. We have Zelts across the map at the third of Dark and dipping into the main base as well with that Warp Prism. Where are the disruptors though? The disruptors are dealing with that counterattack here in the natural base. But the army does get into the natural. Oh my god, we do have DTs and no detection. Meanwhile, across the map, Zelts, they're wreaking havoc. They get into the middle line. 6 drones go down. And the DTs, they're going ham here. They clean up the army. And we do get that War Prism into the main base. It's Dark Temple. There's detection, so the DT isn't going to get too much done. I don't like this move out from Cyan. Again, where are the disruptors? Without splash damage, we're pushing into an army. Oh, and Cyan now realizes his mistake. He's going to be bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Not like this. And Immortal's going to go down as well. Expensive losses. Disruptor comes in. Big connection. We do manage to hold on. Where are the rest of our disruptors, Papi? We only have 2. But Cyan, he will hold on. It looks like Dark is content with the damage he dealt. He is droning. He's now looking to saturate his 4th base. But I would say that Cyan is still ahead at the moment. He's still ahead in, or equal in bases, ahead in workers. I would love a wave of Colossi after these 2 disruptors. Not gonna lie, we're pushing out. We're relying on these Archons instead. Here we go. Cyan gonna be rotating around. Do get a warp into the main base as well. The Zelts just don't stop, and Dark is being pulled apart. Okay, we got 3 more Novas in the chamber. 3 more Purification Novas. We do get on top of the hatchery. Hatchery's gonna go. Oh god, no! Clutch focus fire there. Not a single Nova will connect. And this is the danger of going into these disruptors. And it looks like we are losing our buffer zone here. We have Dark getting on top of the Stalkers, getting on top of the Immortals as well. The Zelts are wreaking havoc though. They are annihilating the mineral line. The economy is just completely being pulled apart. So Dark, he does deal with the main army, but he's losing so much more in the main. And GG gets called Cyan. He does it. GG, well played. Cyan does tie the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. Yeah, something that oh my, hold on. There we go. Something that I was not expecting, but goes to show that if this build does not get scouted, it is a terrifying thing to behold. What I mean by that, just to reiterate, this build from Cyan, basically going for a 3-way charge all in and hiding it, making it look standard. This was done last night. It was done to Scarlet in WTL and it worked wonders. And hey, it even worked here against Dark. And it goes to show that if you do not scout this ahead of time, it is very difficult to defend against. Without Banelings, without enough roaches, Dark did survive longer because he did have a safety roach one. He was able to muster up an army in time. Really good reaction out of Dark, but it still was not enough. GG, and just like that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. Let's go. I gave up to go to bed, but there was a stream after. Yeah, I apologize. I do apologize for going live an hour later than normal. Again, I just did not have I didn't send an alarm by accident. I had confidence in myself, and I shouldn't have. That I would be able to wake up in time, but I did go to sleep later than normal last night. Unfortunately, but it's all good. It's all good. We're getting into it, Poppy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing the Starving Camels. It is Cyan. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Something that I haven't done is I haven't posted on social media, unfortunately. So I will have to quickly get around to that as we get into the ace match here. Hatch Gas Pool from Dark, standard opener. Where are the KSL announcements? Okay. I'm posting on Instagram, Papi, and Facebook. Beautiful. Alright. Yeah, from here, gate expand from Cyan into a Cybercore as well. So very standard openers. And as I was kind of getting into before, when it comes to this all-in, I think I would stay behind all-in. From Cyan that we saw in the previous game, that is something you do once in a series. And I don't think that's something that Cyan can rely on again. It's a strong build, don't get me wrong. It's strong, it's powerful, it worked. You know, it's worked 2 times in a row now. 100% win rate, Bobby, 100%. But alas, it is something that can be figured out and it can be defended against. So, of course, Cyan has to be very wary here of how he does. He has to be very wary of how he does engage, and what build he decides to go for. Speaking of builds, so yeah, I'm just trying to set things up. When it comes to Twitter. Did we cast KSL last week? Oh no, there wasn't a KSL last week. Oh, I remember. I see. I understand. But I'm sorry, I was a little bit distracted. There was an announcement, and you know, it's the early game. Not much is going on at the moment. There's an adept that's going to be threatening a shade. We do have a Stargate tech of choice from Cyan, a Stargate opener, which again is very standard stuff here. We do see him trying to dip between the bases, but Dark is able to keep up, and so far the early game has been relatively standard. But there was an announcement just before KSL. Cure, he's finally on a team. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Cure is an amazing player. He's one of the best Terrans in the world. And Cure is finally on a team. Cure has joined Team Liquid. Team Liquid's Cure is now a thing, which is exciting. Very exciting to hear. There are a lot of Korean players that deserve to be on a team. Cure is one of them. Gumiho is another. Not just Gumiho, but DRG, some of the ex-Abydos players. There are a lot of Korean free agents, and for Cure to be teamless for so long and for Cure to finally find himself on a team is a beautiful thing. Beautiful. Love to see it. I mean, what's a Twilight Council? Tis a Twilight Council. 4 gateways are thrown down. We're setting up for an expansion. This is looking like Glaives. This is looking like a variation of Glaive Adepts without the Robos. So here we go. This is finally catching on a little bit outside of just the European scene. To appreciate it. I'm just setting things up. And then we can get into this. But basically, this is pretty interesting. So for those wondering, no, yeah, this makes sense. There's a Stargate opener into a third base into Glaives. This is designed to catch the Zerg player off guard, trying to catch Dark with his pants down. Thankfully, he does have a Roach Warren on the way. We have links to keep up with the Shades as well. The Queens are going to be able to keep up. And thankfully, Dark isn't cutting corners. If Dark hadn't thrown down the Roach Warren, he would be in trouble. But now he has the tools, or at least the tech he needs to defend against this. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know yet. So far, Cyan has done a great job at just keeping these Adepts hidden. But for how much longer can he keep them hidden? Can he bamboozle the Dark? So we go, the final wave of Adepts. So we are going to be shading across the map. Also, what I was talking about earlier, because again, I was just caught between two worlds on constructing a tweet and also getting into this. The reason why is just because in my brain I thought that it wasn't a Stargate opener. It was just a Twilight Council without a Robo. And I was about to get into a bit of a tirade about how like a lot of the Europeans have been doing this, but alas, this is just a standard kind of fake out instead. And here we go, the Adepts they shade on top of the Queens. One Queen does go down. Roaches are on the way. Dark woefully underprepared for this. Again, this did catch him off guard, but we have 7 Roaches in production and we have not lost any drones yet. The drones have not fallen. The roaches, they come out just in time. The adepts, they do commit to the shade, though. They go straight into the main. Roaches are ready and waiting. A couple of workers are taking some hits, and can we get any damage done? There we go. 2 drones go down. Adepts, they shade into that natural as well. And finally, workers are falling. Damage is being done. Roaches having a hard time keeping up. Looks like the Queens got caught out as well by the Void Ray. And things are getting very chaotic. The Oracle runs out of energy. The Roaches are going for a big counterattack. Darky lost 7 workers. That is acceptable when it comes to the amount of damage that was done. Dark is going to pull back. Queens have arrived. Void Ray should be pushed away. And Darky maintains his workers. Again, losing 7 workers is not enough to really justify this. It's an okay start, but again, I think this was designed to do a little bit more damage. As Cyan is transitioning back at home, he's making additional Void Rays. The reason for this is because he doesn't have a Robo. Without a Robo, he has very limited access to what he can use to defend against a Roach counterattack, so Void Rays are his tech of choice, just to keep himself safe and secure. Sorry, I was sneezing. Wait, we're good. As we have a Zealot runway here on the left-hand side, is going to get sorted away. Dark is able to keep up and force it back. Meanwhile, here on the right-hand side, here comes the rest of the army. Again, a little bit haphazard here from Dark, but he is gaining ground. Sorry, from Cyan, he is gaining ground. Can he get the Queen? Up! Up! It's so tempting! He wants it, but no, the Queen will survive. Very limited losses here for Dark, barely losing anything. And he is able to keep up with the multi-pronged aggression of Cyan. Now, okay, so getting into this. Because of the damage that Cyan did earlier, and because of the situation that he's found himself in, things aren't looking too bad. I do appreciate that he's rushing into this 4th base, into the half-rich base, I should say. But Dark slipped out of Spire, and he's going into Mutas. And the reality is that there's very little to defend against that. We are not prepared whatsoever. There's no cannons or shield batteries in these mineral lines. And these Mutas, they can get out of hand. They can get out of control. We have 2 Void Rays that shoot up. That is it. We do not have Blink. We do not have Phoenixes. No Archons. Charged Lord Immortal. Doesn't shoot up, Papi. And here we go. The Mutas, they dive on those Void Rays. Phoenix production has commenced. The Mutas, they ignore the Zealots and they go straight for the mineral lines. The Phoenixes are being chronoed. Stalkers are warping in, but they don't have Blink. And Cyan has to commit to his own attack. Probes are going down. The Zealots and the Immortals, they have a lot of potential here. They're breaking through the Roaches. They can break through the Roaches. Meanwhile, across the map, the Mutas, they get 6 worker kills in the natural. They go straight for the 3rd base. The Mutas are being eventually chased down by those Stalkers. And the Roaches are also being cleaned up. But we get on top of the Immortals. The Immortals are exposed. No. Everything's going to go down. Cyan throwing away his entire army. Meanwhile, across the map, the Mutas are still wreaking havoc. 16 probes go down. Dark defends and Dark attacks. He gets damage done and he defends at home. And now Cyan is in a world of hurt. Cyan is stuck making Stalkers and Phoenixes. Stalkers without Blink. Phoenixes, the one after the other. And yeah, next up, this base is going to go down. So again, despite the opener, despite Cyan being in a decent position, Dark, he was able to slip out some tech, and with these Mutas just wreak havoc, snowball out of control. The Stalkers are doing well for themselves, but the rest of the Roaches do pop out of stasis. And they are just getting on top of the army. GG gets called, and Dark will advance on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark for taking the series in the end. It was a close one, went all the way to the ace match, and I definitely do appreciate what Cyan was able to accomplish here. Again, showing us that the build that he did go for against Scarlet does work against a player of the caliber of Dark as well. So it's a very dangerous build, and something that I haven't seen before, to be honest. Not to... haven't seen too much of it, but yeah, we are going to be getting ready for our next semifinals match, and oh, it's gonna get intense. GG. But a shout out to Cyan for what he's been able to do here so far these past couple of days, and he has been looking strong in the ZvP matchup. But alas, Dark proved to be a bit too much. GG.